Somewhere in the world right now, there's a quiet cafe with the smell of fresh coffee wafting through the air. Your coffee costs less than $1. Your rent is a fraction of what you're paying now. And your biggest decision is deciding whether to spend your afternoon exploring a centuries-old fortress or watching the sunset from the beach. These aren't the polished destinations everyone talks about. They're the spots people stumble on by accident, fall in love with, and then hesitate to say anything because they want to keep it a secret. Today, we're going to talk about 10 secret retirement towns almost no one is talking about.
But before we do, if you love discovering new places and you're dreaming of a life with more freedom, adventure, and maybe a little less stress, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. We share stories and hidden gems from our global lifestyle every week, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's start on the sun-drenched shores of the Adriatic. Coming in at number 10 is Sarande, Albania. Sarande is where mountains meet the sea, and life moves at a pace that feels pretty darn easy. Your morning starts with an espresso at a waterfront cafe, and choosing which one is less about the view and more about which waiter already knows your order. For retirees, Sarande has a lot going for it. The cost of living is low, healthcare is accessible, and Corfu is just a short ferry ride away if you ever need a change of scenery. You can find a sea view apartment for under $500 a month, enjoy lunch on the water for the price of a coffee back home, and still leave the market with a bag of olives too heavy to carry comfortably. What makes Saranda especially appealing is the community. The local culture is warm and welcoming, and there's also a growing expat scene. It's tight-knit enough that you'll make friends quickly, but small enough that it still feels very authentic. It's a place where retirement comes with sunshine, connection, and the sense that you belong.
We really enjoyed our time in Saranda. Unfortunately, there weren't a lot of expats there when we were there in the heat of the summer. A lot of them go up to Bulgaria in the mountains for those hot summer months where it's much cooler.
I still found it really relaxing, especially sitting in our condo and looking at the incredible views.
Yeah, the view of the sea was really cool. In Corfu, we could see Corfu from our condo and watch those pirate ships, the party ships go by. Every day they would go back and forth. And at night they were all lit up. That was really cool.
Yeah, but it was still nice and quiet. So even though there was definitely some party going on at the sea, it was pretty chill where we were, which I appreciated.
Yeah, our morning walks along the boardwalk were wonderful. It's really neat down there. Has been really renovated and nicely done.
Yeah, and we've spoken with other expats who live there full time and they absolutely love it. It's a great spot.
From Albania's turquoise shores, we head north to a medieval town cradled between mountains and a bay so beautiful it's often mistaken for a fjord. Number 9 is Kotor, Montenegro. Kotor is a maze of stone alleys, old churches, and sun-warmed squares where cats nap like they own the place, and honestly, they kind of do. They're everywhere there, and the locals love it, and they feed them. Although cruise ships stop here for a few hours, the real magic shows up when you stay longer. The community is close-knit, the hiking trails start practically at your doorstep, and the clouds sitting on the mountains look otherworldly. For retirees, it's especially appealing. The pace is slower, the views are spectacular, and the cost of living is still within reach if you settle just outside the old town. Daily life comes with small quirks. You'll hear church bells that don't keep track of the time very well, at least not as good as your watch does, and an accordion drifting through your window now and then, but that's just part of its charm. What makes Kotor stand out as a retirement spot is how naturally history and modern life blend together. The fortress walls, the mountains, the sea air, they're not sights you visit, they're just part of your everyday routine there.
I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed the time we spent there. I'm glad we stayed outside of Old Town. I loved being up on that hill because the views were just amazing. And there are cats around there too. I loved all those little kitty cats all over the place.
There were cats everywhere. It's kind of known for its cat friendliness, and they have stores that sell cat memorabilia and stuff.
Yes, I have one that I have taken all over the world with me, my little tin.
The other nice thing about being up on the hill is that we could see when the cruise ships were in, and we avoided the Old Town then because it just got packed with people. But as soon as the cruise ships were gone, it was empty, and we could pretty much have any seat of our choosing at any of the restaurants or the coffee shops or the wine shops. It didn't really matter. We wandered around there by ourselves a lot.
The whole area was just fantastic. The community is welcoming. I thought the locals were very welcoming to us, and the hiking there was fantastic
I
too.
know that hike up that side of that mountain with the views of the bay, it was incredible.
From Europe's coastlines, we travel to a highland city that's often called the Seattle of South America because it's famous for its coffee and music scene. Number 8 is Loja, Ecuador. Loja is the music capital of Ecuador, and it doesn't take long to see why. As you walk through town, you'll hear guitars, singing, and impromptu performances on street corners. Music is simply part of daily life here because the universities have fantastic music programs and musicians from all over come here to study. The climate stays comfortable all year and it's perfect for growing coffee beans. You can buy freshly roasted coffee beans at the Mercado or get a truly fresh cup at one of the many cafes. The elevation is about 6,800 feet above sea level, so there's no need for heating or air conditioning, which is wonderful. That alone keeps your utility bills nice and low. Rent for a central apartment often comes in under $500 a month, and the local markets are full of fresh fruits and vegetables at prices that make it hard not to overbuy. And let me tell you, it's really hard not to overbuy. Don't be shocked if you find yourself carrying a papaya home bigger than your head just because it looked too good to leave behind. I know we've done that multiple times. For retirees, Loja offers an easy rhythm to daily life. Healthcare is accessible and affordable. The city is safe, and people are genuinely welcoming. You'll likely know your neighbors, their kids, their dogs, and the vendors at the Mercado by the end of your first week, which makes settling in a lot easier.
Yeah, the views in Loja are incredible. It's in a bowl. There are mountains surrounding it. You can hike up in some of the parks and the mountains around there. They have really nice mercados. I really enjoyed going to those.
Oh, I know. Well, we can never get enough of the Mercados. It's so hard not to overbuy.
Yeah, and they're actually known for good health care. You wouldn't think
Yep.
that for a mountain town like this, but it's a pretty good sized city. And they have a kind of famous cancer clinic there.
Yeah, and if you really want to change the scenery, because it can be a little bit damp there, although that's why it's so beautifully lush and green, you can head into Vilcabamba. It's about an hour south, and it is definitely warmer and drier there.
And lower elevation. It's right around 5,200 feet, mile high.
That's right.
Before we move on, we have a quick update for you. We just launched our fall sale on our Express e-courses. Right now, each course is 50% off, or you can grab the full bundle of all 4 courses for 70% off.
These programs are designed to fast track your transition to a global lifestyle. Whether you want to move abroad to one country or slow travel the world, we can help you get there faster, easier, and with fewer costly mistakes. It's the perfect time to enroll, especially if you're planning a move in 2026, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Just scan this QR code or go to amelianjp.com/express to enroll now.
From the Andes in Ecuador, we head to Portugal, to a coastal town where the Atlantic breeze meets the laid-back rhythm of everyday life. Number 7 is Matosinhos, Portugal. This is Porto's laid-back neighbor. It's close enough that you can hop into the city whenever you want, but far enough that the streets feel calm and the beach is part of your everyday routine. Morning walks along the promenade blend right into daily life, and the wide open ocean views set the pace for slower, easier days. For retirees, it works on a practical level too. Housing is still more affordable here than in Lisbon or central Porto. Healthcare is excellent, and the metro makes it simple to get into the city without a car. Neighbors are friendly, and the atmosphere is relaxed. And when you want a break from the beach, Parque da Ciudad do Porto is right nearby. It's the largest urban park in Portugal with lakes, shaded paths, and plenty of quiet corners that make it easy to spend an afternoon without realizing where the time went. Matosinhos gives you the convenience of a major city paired with the slower rhythm of a coastal town.
I absolutely loved that park. It was gorgeous. The lakes, all the different birds, even chickens. I always love seeing chickens. Gosh, I could have spent every day there.
I know we walked around that park quite a bit. And
Yeah. Yes. But I also really enjoyed walking along by the beach. It was neat and surprising to see people surfing there. I would have thought it'd been too cold, but obviously with a wetsuit, I guess you can make that work.
And unlike Porto proper, it's flat. The sidewalks, the streets, everything was super flat and walkable and very handicap accessible. So Porto downtown was not easy to walk in, but Matosinhos was.
It was, and it's a really good location. It's nice and close to the airport too.
Yeah, it was. That's one reason why we stayed there, because it was so close to the airport. It helped us get used to the jet lag when we first landed in Europe.
Next, we head to France, to a city whose name you already know, but for reasons that have nothing to do with retirement. Number 6 is Dijon, France. Yes, this is the home of the world-famous mustard and my favorite mustard. But Dijon is so much more than a condiment. Think golden limestone buildings, leafy squares, and bakeries that make you forget you promised yourself just one croissant. Life here has all the French elegance without the Paris price tag. Apartments in the historic center can be surprisingly affordable, and the open-air markets turn grocery shopping into a cultural experience. A little French goes a long way, but even if you stumble through it, the vendors usually will answer you with a smile. They were pretty helpful.
I don't know. They just told me, speak English.
That was in Paris, not in Dijon. For retirees, Dijon offers an easy balance. It's walkable, safe, and connected by train to Paris, Lyon, and Geneva if you ever crave a bigger city or you need to go to the airport. Healthcare is excellent, and the pace of daily life feels more relaxed than the capital without sacrificing any of the charm. One of the city's small joys is following the Owl Walk, which are the brass markers set into the street that guide you through historic sites, all inspired by the little stone owl carved into the side of the cathedral. Locals say it brings good luck if you rub it with your left hand, which if you're retiring here, it seems like the perfect tradition to adopt.
Yeah, remember to use your left hand.
Mustard will show up everywhere in jars, in taps, and even in ice cream, which I did not try that. That sounded a little bit too mustardy to me. It is quirky, but Dijon has a way of making the ordinary feel refined. Retirement here isn't just about slowing down, it's about savoring good bread, good wine, and a lifestyle that feels effortlessly cultured.
Yeah, I guess we didn't realize they dumbed down the mustard for us Americans, Amelia, because it is so mellow in the U.S. compared to when you get it right out of the tap in Dijon.
Oh my gosh, that was so incredible. And the varieties, I never thought I would be so excited about mustard. But boy, now as we've been traveling around the world, anytime I see some authentic Dijon mustard, I'm very excited. I miss all of the different flavors.
Yeah, we used it in everything. We cooked with it. We put it on bread, crackers. We really turned into mustard addicts.
We did, but I gotta say, our time in Dijon was a lot more than just the mustard. The architecture was just incredible. And just to be able to walk around in the smaller community was amazing.
And I did enjoy the Owl Walk. In fact, we recorded our video there while doing the Owl Walk.
We did. That was fun.
Next, we sail south across the Mediterranean to an island that feels like time runs on its own schedule, as it does on most islands, and no one is in a hurry to change it. Number 5 is Gozo, Malta. This is Malta's quieter, more easygoing side. It's an island with ancient temples, sunlit stone houses, coastal views that make you stop mid-walk just to take them in, and we did a lot of that. It's big enough that you can pick between lively towns and sleepy villages, but small enough that getting anywhere never feels like a chore. Most people gravitate toward Victoria, the island's main hub right in the middle, where the Citadel Fortress looks out over the rooftops and the island. But if you'd rather trade bustle for calm, the smaller coastal towns have their own charm. Either way, the pace of life slows down fast, sometimes so much that I'll be there soon really means I'll see you after lunch. For retirees, Gozo checks a lot of boxes. The housing is still really affordable, especially compared to mainland Europe. Healthcare is reliable, and with more than 300 days of sunshine a year, your umbrella will spend most of its time in storage unless you use it to protect yourself from that sun. And that's what we did when we were there.
Yeah, the umbrella works good for sun and rain.
Yeah. What makes Gozo stand out is the mix of history in your backyard, neighbors who know your name, and the sea is never out of sight. It's island living, but without the chaos.
I remember we walked from the port to the Citadel, and it was a lot calmer than the main island, and it was really easy to avoid the tourist areas once we got to Victoria. That main part of town was very crowded, but you just walked like 1 or 2 blocks over, and it was pretty chill.
Yeah, that walk took us like an hour and a half, though. It wasn't a short walk, but that's our thing. We walk everywhere.
Well, yeah, and that's how you get to see everything. However, you can take a bus or a taxi, and they even have Ubers on that island, too.
Yeah, we took Uber back to the port. I was not going to walk all the way back after we explored that island on foot.
Yeah, that was a lot of walking. And remember, JP, we talked to some other people who had been living there for years, and they loved Gozo because it was a lot calmer compared to the main island of Malta.
Yeah, it was. And we've actually seen news reports from people who have retired there and love it. And
Yeah.
they have beautiful places that are very affordable.
Yeah, it's a really good option as long as you like being on an island. From that tiny Mediterranean island, we head inland to a capital city that doesn't act like one, and that's exactly why you might fall in love with it. Number 4 is Bratislava, Slovakia. Bratislava sits gracefully on the banks of the Danube River, a short distance downstream from Vienna, Austria. It has a castle keeping watch from above and the old town spilling down toward the water, and it has all the elegance you'd expect from a European capital. It has cobblestone streets, grand squares, and riverside promenades, but without all the crowds and high prices of its more famous neighbors. rivers. And I gotta say, I loved it. It's a city where you can wander from a centuries-old cathedral to a modern riverside promenade in the same afternoon, and you still have time to hop over to Vienna for dinner. It is less than an hour away by train.
You know that those are the two closest national capitals in the world?
I did not know that. That is really cool. Housing here can be far more affordable than in Western Europe, and the city size means you're never more than 20 minutes from wherever you're going, unless, of course, you get sidetracked by a street festival or the irresistible smell of fresh pastries wafting out of a bakery. JP, I think we have bakery and fresh bread on the brain today.
I think so too, but when is it never on the...
I guess so. It blends history, culture, and a neighborly feel you wouldn't expect from a capital city, making it one of Europe's best kept retirement secrets.
I think one of my favorite parts was all the Art Nouveau architecture. Those buildings look like wedding cakes. It's a little bit different. It's actually called Hungarian Art Nouveau. And when we said that in the video, the Slovakians were not very happy about it. But I hate to tell them this, it is the Hungarian Art Nouveau style that makes it look like a wedding cake.
I absolutely loved the architecture as well. I liked the size of the city. I mean, it was just perfect. It was easy to get around. It was flat and very walkable. And I liked that you had the combination of the ancient history and all of those gorgeous statues. And then you could just walk over to this modern mall and walk along the river and watch all those river boats going by. It was perfect.
I like the statues. We kind of brushed over that in our other video about Bratislava, but the statues were so cool. It's really part of the town charm because they're all over the place. They're like bronze, I guess, bronze statues. And we really enjoyed looking at all of them. They're even inside the mall.
Yeah, it was really neat. And also the food scene, can't forget to talk about that. The restaurants and the food there, I can't wait to go back.
I know, world-class cuisine. It was really good. From the heart of Europe, we're going to head south and way south to a walled city where the Indian Ocean crashes against centuries-old stone. Number 3 is Galle, Sri Lanka. This blends tropical beauty with colonial history where Dutch-era architecture, winding stone lanes, and a 400-year-old fort stand strong against that sea spray, monsoons, and the occasional cricket match on those grassy ramparts. Inside the old fort walls, you'll stumble across art galleries, cozy cafes, and boutique hotels tucked into restored heritage buildings. Just outside, the coastline opens up. While the fort itself is perched on rocky edges, a short ride takes you to long, sandy beaches, perfect for swimming, strolling, or just watching the boats drift in and out. For retirees, Galle has a lot of appeal. Housing is still affordable compared to most coastal destinations around the world, and daily expenses are low enough that you can treat yourself without feeling guilty about it. The markets are overflowing with fresh tropical fruit, and yes, you're going to start to develop a very strong opinion about the ripeness of mangoes. Locals take it seriously, and soon you will too.
Sounds like a good problem to have.
That is a good problem. Mango problems. And here's something you don't get in most coastal towns. Just a couple hours away is Yala National Park, one of the best safari reserves in Asia. You can spend the weekend spotting elephants, leopards, and colorful birds, and then be back in Galle in time for dinner by the sea. It's like having 2 retirements in one, beach life and wildlife adventure. Galle has a historic town that feels alive, beaches and warm weather just outside your door, and a community that makes it easy to feel at home.
Yeah, I always thought you had to go to Africa for those safaris, but the fact that you can go to Sri Lanka, which is a pretty small island, is just incredible to me. I mean, the island is just mind-blowing.
It is. It's a beautiful island, and they were suffering a few years ago from their economic crash, but the reports that we've seen now say that they're doing pretty well. So they've recovered from that, and people are going back there for their tourism, and actually quite a few people live there. A lot of expats live there.
Yeah, it's a really great option. From coast of Sri Lanka, we head deep into Southeast Asia to a riverside city whose name means cat, and they fully embrace it. Number 2 is Kuching, Malaysia. Kuching is the cultural heart of Sarawak and on the island of Borneo, and its name literally means cat. This is our second cat location. There are cat statues on roundabouts, a cat museum dedicated to all things feline, and even souvenir shops selling paw print everything. Along with Kotor in Montenegro, it might just be one of the most cat-friendly retirement spots in the world. So if you've got a soft spot for whiskers like I do, then you are in good company. Kuching is not just about the cats though. It's a riverside city surrounded by tropical greenery, and it has a nice relaxed pace. Walk the waterfront promenade and you'll pass food stalls, colonial era buildings, and families out for an evening stroll. For retirees, it's a really good choice. Apartments cost a fraction of what you pay in most Western cities. Meals at the open air hawker centers are both affordable and delicious, and healthcare is reliable without without being expensive. Plus, on the weekends, you could head out to nearby national parks to see orangutans, waterfalls, and walk along the rainforest trails, which sounds steamy but fantastic. Whether you're a lifelong cat lover or just someone looking for a slower pace, Kuching has a way of winning people over. It's friendly, affordable, and close to nature, with just enough of that feline flair to keep life interesting.
The other nice thing about the Borneo or Sarawak region is they have more affordable visas, unlike KL, which they've raised their visa qualification requirements quite a bit. But a lot of people can still qualify in Sarawak.
Yeah, that is a really good option. And then plus of course, you could still go to the mainland, so you don't have to just spend all of your time in Sarawak if you don't want to.
And English is really common because it used to be a British colony before it officially joined Malaysia. So you can speak English pretty easily there.
Yeah, I gotta say that is a big appeal for those of us who are not fluent in other Asian type languages like us. It's not like trying to go to a Spanish speaking country. It's nice to be able to speak English, especially when you're talking to doctors.
For our last stop, we head to a place where ancient history and modern life coexist, one of my most favorite places in the world, where sunrise might just be the most magical time of the day if you can get up that early. Number 1 is Siem Reap, Cambodia. Siem Reap is world famous as the gateway to Angkor, an ancient city of temples that looks like something straight out of a dream or a movie, but step beyond the ruins and you're going to find a city that's friendly, walkable, and surprisingly easy to settle into. There's also a growing expat community, which means you'll never be the only one still figuring out how to cross the street like a local, and you pretty much just have to go for it.
Like you do in a lot of Asia.
Yeah, they just go around you. The cost of living is almost hard to believe. You can rent a modern condo with a pool for under $500 a month, eat out for just a few dollars, and still have plenty left over for weekend trips. Especially now they have that nice new airport. It makes regional travel a breeze. And while exploring the temples never really loses its magic, it's easy to settle into your daily routine. You'll find yourself picking favorite cafes, debating which smoothie stand really deserves the crown, and realizing that the hardest decision most days is whether to take your evening walk along the river or through the market or down Pub Street. For retirees, Siem Reap offers both affordability and adventure. It's a place where history feels alive, the pace is unhurried, and everyday life comes with enough color and warmth to make you feel like you're part of something special.
Yeah, and speaking of warmth, it is very warm there, but it wasn't overwhelmingly hot as opposed to some of the other places we've been. I loved it. I cannot believe how much I loved and felt comfortable in Siem Reap. And it wasn't just because of the temples. The people were just incredible.
Yeah, it wasn't too hot when you were cruising around in an open air tuk-tuk either.
Those are so much fun. I love it.
And you can even reserve those with Grab. We use the Grab. It's like Uber, and you could just have a tuk-tuk come pick you up, and they're almost always sitting around somewhere.
I know, that's a way to go. I also loved the traditional Cambodian food. That may be my new favorite, JP.
I agree. It was amazing and so affordable. We could eat out, the two of us, for under $10 for a meal out at a restaurant. That was crazy. And it was so high quality. The food quality was just incredible.
Yeah, and what's nice about that location too is because now that they have that fabulous new airport, you're really connected pretty quickly with the rest of Southeast Asia. So, KL, what was it, like an hour flight?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And it was less than an hour to go to Bangkok.
Yeah, it's really easy. From the coast of Albania to the temples of Cambodia, these 10 towns show that retirement is not just about slowing down, it is about opening up a new chapter. Each place has its own mix of history, community, and affordability that makes life feel a little bit richer without blowing your budget.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait until you're sitting in a plaza with a coffee or watching the ocean at sunset to start planning. The dreaming is part of the fun, and the doing is what makes it real. So which one of these secret retirement spots spoke to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we love hearing your ideas.
And if you're ready to take the first step, remember to check out our big fall sale and fast track your transition to a global lifestyle, because your next chapter might be closer than you think. Before you go, leave us a like and we'll see you all in our next video. Ciao.
Ciao.